Welcome to this week's episode of the 12squared podcast. Today's guest is experienced crypto freelancer Trust Oghale. Welcome to this episode of the 12squared podcast by Base Notes. Today's guest is Trust, a crypto freelancer from Nigeria focused on building blockchain ecosystems. And Trust, I'm really thrilled that you're here with us.
Yeah, glad I'm here too. Thank you.
Before we start off, let me just give our viewers and listeners a quick overview of what you do. How did you get into this crazy landscape of crypto?
All right, great. Right now, I'm primarily focused, like you said, on building blockchain systems, and I've been in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space since for 2 years now.
Yeah.
All right. So my first encounter with the core concept of cryptocurrencies was a friend of mine who was a freelancer, and there was a Bitcoin boom at the time. So he earned a lot of cash, and he was like, he should want to tell his friends about it. And he mentioned it to me. I got involved in it, and soon after that, my interest in cryptocurrency and blockchain systems and DeFi and a lot of other related features that is surrounded with the blockchain, including that, really caught my attention. And I decided to primarily focus on the technology on which cryptocurrencies are built, other than the products that it offers, because I see blockchain systems not as primarily for tokens production, or rather, I would say cryptocurrency production and all of that. I see this as something bigger that will create a new world other than the one we are looking at, or rather other than the one we are currently in. So that's it for me.
All right. That kind of explains your passion, I guess.
Yeah.
Then you currently build blockchain ecosystems, as I understand it. But you also freelance, is that correct?
Yeah, I do freelance. Yeah, I do freelance on a couple of jobs online to earn cash, and it's quite an exciting journey working as a freelancer, because I get to meet with people and receive payment in cryptocurrencies. And the idea that freelancers are working with cryptocurrencies right now, it's really exciting because it prepares them for the future we are about to enter. So the first-time users of cryptocurrencies and people that are familiar with the old blockchain system will actually have more edge in the future than a lot of people who pay a blind eye to it. So for me, it's like being part of the future, dealing with cryptocurrency as a freelancer, or getting paid as a freelancer in cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, I think almost everybody we talked to so far has been way ahead of the curve, especially when you consider that we're from Germany, based on currently is in Germany. Almost nobody has heard of cryptocurrencies here. As they have heard of it, but the usage is so low. And so I'm very optimistic for everybody basically around the world who uses that kind of technology. So what do you use it for? Do you use it for transactions, or do you use it as an investment vehicle? What's your crypto usage look like?
Let's say just the way I use my normal fiat currencies, Naira, in my country, Nigeria. It's just particularly the same way I use cryptocurrencies. I remember the first time I made a purchase of a goods online with Ethereum, right? Yeah. So I use Ethereum to purchase a goods online. So it's like my normal daily interaction with any other currency out there. Receive money from it, send funds to people with the money, with the cryptocurrencies, invest like I would with the normal fiat currency, trade like I would on the normal fiat currency and all of that. So it's like it's part of my everyday usage as a person.
Right. When you have all those different use cases there, how do you keep track of your crypto? Do you use a pen and paper, or how do you know how much you have in the given time?
Okay. I think that's primarily a challenge, right? Because in order for you to keep track of how much you spent over the years, you have to go through your history and do the calculation yourself and do estimated amount if you spent more, if you spent less, or if you did the right investment and all of that. So it's quite a challenge. I basically just the crypto exchange wallets I do use, Luno, MetaMask, Binance,
Right.
and the coin market, I just practically just go through my history and see whatever transactions and who I made whatever transactions to at any point in time, and maybe calculate my total expenditure on my spending. So practically that was it. And it's like I said, it's quite a challenge doing all of that because you have to get a piece of paper, a calculator, and start taking it one after the other.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, I guess. I think there's so many people still using pen and paper solutions, or like if you want to call it a solution. I would see it more as a problem, but it's but yeah, there are many people who are kind of going that route, which has its merits, I guess. Some people think it's kind of safe, to do that way and to also not disclose to everybody. But I think there are much better solutions out there, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Do you think this is also an entry barrier for people to use crypto, knowing that they do not really see one account number or anything like that, no aggregated no aggregated number, I guess?
Yeah. As a barrier, no, actually. All right, let me speak with reference to my country, Nigeria.
Right.
So we have a lot of youths that are really into the crypto space. A lot of people doing investment in crypto, for instance, receiving cash in crypto and all of that. So majority of the people I've worked with, majority of my friends, they all use cryptocurrencies, and they've not really been any challenge. It's more of like something exciting because you have to deal with a market that is volatile at the moment. That yeah, so you could have your cryptocurrency rising at a particular point in time, you make a lot of gain from it. So it's not like an exciting thing for a lot of people in my country, in terms of the young people in my country. But I think the barrier begins when we start looking at maybe government policies. A lot of people really pay attention to what the government has to say about a particular thing that's introduced in the country or introduced in the world. So the government said this is bad. A lot of people were like, "Oh, yeah, this is really bad," and the government will go on the long way to make convince people that using cryptocurrency, like my country, is banned for anyone to interact with cryptocurrency. So government go a long way to make people see that cryptocurrency is actually bad. It has no control and all of that. So it will be a challenge for people who really don't understand how it works, right? Because if you don't really understand how something works, then you start having a doubt about the particular product or about using the particular product. And if peradventure something bad happens along the line of you trying the product, it's just like a confirmation that the product is actually bad, right? But if you have an idea about the product, then you will go to the extent of using it. And don't worry if it falls or it's good. At all times, you're always going to deal with whatever risks it poses. So the barrier begins from government policies, government regulation policy. Then another barrier would be older generations, right? Now we have a lot of our parents, other people beyond 50s who are not really familiar, who are not really part of this our old digital age per se in my country, and they don't really want to hear stuff like crypto investments. So all they want to hear is dealing with real money, real cash, something you can hold in hand. So that's particularly what you can focus on, not some digital assets that you have to put in a particular wallet that somebody owns. So they rather want to go to a physical bank to make a withdrawal, or go to a physical ATM to make a withdrawal than dealing it on their phone. So challenge would be practically ignorance and government policies, and lastly, age barrier. So that could be the barriers to a lot of people really getting familiar with the whole concept of the cryptocurrency space.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I think that many people also in Germany were reluctant actually when electronic cash was coming and using bank cards, debit cards. People, Germany is a very cash heavy country, so they have something tangible. I do not expect that generation to ever actually use crypto. So we're kind of fighting the same fight, I guess, for blockchain education. And also I think us in the blockchain I would say industry, we have to find ways to make it to make the information threshold, which you have to use cryptocurrency, we have to make it lower, right? And also to make it more accessible. That leads me, I guess, to another question. How would you picture a world in which cryptocurrencies are widely adopted and widely used by large chunks of the population?
All right. So I think firstly, for me, one of the things I mostly consider is seeing how the world will, like you said, adapt to this new technology that is being faced with. So, as you know, a lot of government, even the US government, are not really saying anything particular about the use of blockchains and cryptocurrency. They're just keeping quiet about the whole concept, right? But I think in the future, we'll start seeing government opening up to the use of cryptocurrencies. Until recently, due to the whole hype around cryptocurrencies, my government in Nigeria decided to introduce a first digital currency called INR. So it's a digital currency that it doesn't really have to be in your physical hand. You can spend it, you can do a lot of stuff using a physical cash. So that's like an improvement, like a step forward into the adoption of digital assets like other cryptocurrencies. So we'll start seeing government opening up to using cryptocurrencies, and I think there'll be the problem that government find with the adoption of cryptocurrencies is the fact that they find it difficult to regulate it, right? So, so they find it difficult to regulate cryptocurrencies. They don't want to put their hands into all of it. They will want to, until they find a solution. So they find a solution to regulate cryptocurrency. They won't want to get other people involved. They want to encourage it. They will either keep quiet or demonize it. So by the time we start seeing government regulations on cryptocurrency, then I think people will start getting really, really familiar with the concept and really adopting to using it as their day-to-day transaction. So particularly that's the future we are looking at in terms of cryptocurrency. That if I must say, falling on the background, or rather the foundation on which cryptocurrencies is built, which is the blockchain technology. I think the blockchain technology per se has been widely adopted by a lot of government organizations. We see people like the NSC using blockchain technology. See a lot of countries, a lot of big time companies trying to adopt blockchain technology in their data management and structures. So the underlying technology is gaining a lot of attention in the world. Then the products that technology offers, like cryptocurrency, decentralized apps, and all of that, will start getting a lot of accolade in the near future. So I think that was it for me.
All right. Now our podcast focuses on one particular group, especially, but I mean it's open to the general public. But we have freelancers very close to our hearts. Imagine you would talk to a freelancer who is currently solely relying on fiat currency. What would you say are the advantages of using crypto in their daily business dealings?
Let's see. All right, so let's see the difference between fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies. Now, one of the challenge one would have with fiat currencies is the value of the currency in a particular region. So in Nigeria, a dollar in Nigeria is about 565 naira, right? So dollar has a lot of value than my currency. So if I have a client abroad that wants to pay me a particular amount of money, he will send me $18, right? And in my country, it will be a lot of gain. Now, if we turn the tables around, where you have a client in Nigeria who wants to pay someone in the US for a job, the person in the US will gain a lot, right? But now, looking into the cryptocurrency space, where the price for a cryptocurrency is standard across all countries, right? So that devaluation and valuation of regional currencies won't be a challenge. So to me, freelancers deciding to use cryptocurrencies, it's like a huge one for this freelancing community. It's like a big thumbs up for them. I will advise my friend. I keep advising a lot of friends, a lot of people I interact with, as well as myself, to keep going into using cryptocurrency for my daily transactions, because, like I said, the regional barrier of currency value is not a problem. Now, moving ahead of that, we start looking at things like the volatility of the markets, or cryptocurrency market. So as a freelancer, if you were to use a normal fiat currency, once you receive payment to your bank and you're not willing to withdraw it at the moment, you can leave it there. Right. And if you take 10 years, 5 years before you withdraw the cash out, you see the amount of money you saw 10 years ago that's going to be there. Now, take it to a cryptocurrency stage where we have the market rising on the constant price, although it falls sometimes, but compare the value of Bitcoin to when it initially started, you can see the tremendous growth, the rapid growth in its pricing. So if I, for one, will stick with cryptocurrency, I don't mostly withdraw it at the time. I will first look into the market and see the price and see where the market is going. Then that will let me decide if I should leave it here to earn more, So you get to earn more using cryptocurrency for daily transactions because due to the volatility of the market. So that's one of the edging results of using cryptocurrencies as freelancer. And these NFTs are a new type of product that is betted on this blockchain technology. So you see freelancers now moving into, you see, we have a lot of freelancers who do digital art, right? Now we see them doing digital art and selling them on the blockchain technology, like going and buying NFTs and selling NFTs, and a lot of them making a lot of money from it. So the interaction with stuff like that, cryptocurrencies, all create like a union, and a union that is always at a long run advantageous to freelancers. So for me, freelancers and cryptocurrency is the best way to move. Is the best direction.
Yeah. Last question, maybe. What would be some tips that you would have for such freelancers? How to, get their toes wet in the crypto market or in using crypto?
Right. So my first advice for new freelancers who want to try, or freelancers already existing who may be aware of cryptocurrencies or may not be aware of cryptocurrencies is get your how many put this way? The platform for your customers, get it into a platform that works on cryptocurrencies.
Right.
I have a lot of platforms that use fiat currency as a means of payment, right? Like change that. You have to change that because there are lots of platforms who allow the exchange of cryptocurrencies for payment for freelancers. So change that. Change platforms to platforms that encourage cryptocurrency payment. Change to platforms like that because one, a lot of people find it more safe, right, to deal with freelancers in that platform because you get, for example, let's say there's a platform I use called LaborX, right, that does payment based on cryptocurrency. So whenever you make a payment, the system holds the money until the person confirms that the work is done, right? But you don't get that on the normal freelance stuff. So you might be traded off, you might be duped. You might pay for a product, person might not really send it, but using stuff like cryptocurrencies for payment, it's like a whole new ball game, especially. And now moving on to protecting your privacy, right? That is another huge one. That's another huge. So I think my advice for them is to change your platform. Change your platform to start using cryptocurrency platform. And two, in order for you to start, before you go into receiving payment or doing transactions with cryptocurrencies, my advice would be also related to them having a knowledge about it, them having an understanding about it. Then that saves them the stress and the anxiety of, is this person going to pay me? Is this safe? Am I sure I'm doing the right thing? So all of that will be taken care of if you have a knowledge about how the system works. So make sure before you move into it, have a prior knowledge about how it works, then change your platform. I think every other advice I would have would follow from these two foundations.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. That was the podcast so far. I had a blast interviewing you. Before you go, can you tell our listeners or our viewers of any projects that you do or where they can find you? Maybe to ask questions or to hire you. What are those links?
All right, so great. This is my favorite part.
I bet.
So let me start with what I do right now in terms with regards to my freelancing job. So particularly, I review articles online, right? Blockchain articles. I write blockchain articles. I write about NFTs and cryptocurrencies. Then I apart from reviewing articles, I do graphic designs for people. And recently, I'm moving into the direction of design of using Figma, doing UI UX designs for cryptocurrency or platforms or websites I want to start using cryptocurrencies. So I do UI UX design. So particularly that's what I'm majored in my freelancing jobs. So if you want to get in contact with me, I'll regard my prospective customers to check me out on LaborX.
Right.
LaborX. So that's when I work with on the regular basis. So LaborX. So you can find me there, and my username is Trust Oghale. I think Felix will be able to add that in terms of titles. That aside my freelancing job, another something else I would like to promote is to encourage so I work in startup, right? I design blockchain systems in my startup. So one thing I want to encourage is to, I know that a lot of people get to listen to this podcast, both customers and investors and a lot of people. So I'm speaking right now to current investors. They should look at Africa, particularly Nigeria, because a lot of people are having really, really great ideas on building their own blockchains, on building their own cryptocurrencies. It's a boom outside in the Europe and in the United States, but Africa is kind of silent right now. But I think if investors and customers and a lot of people can shine the torchlight of funds and a torchlight of programs to people in Africa, and particularly in Nigeria, then we get to see another huge momentum to push government and push the knowledge of blockchain and cryptocurrencies to a lot of people who have not heard about it. So that's my other word out there to a lot of people. So shine your torchlight down to Africa. Africa needs to get in touch with you guys.
All right. That's a beautiful way. To end this podcast. We will obviously provide the links to your work and where to find you in the description below the video / the podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And also thanks to the listeners for giving us the time again. Next week we will be back with another interesting freelancer. And until then, take care.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.